Hey everyone, Sarah here. So I'm here to talk to you today about routines. So I want to talk to you about what routines I have, why I have them, and hopefully maybe you can implement some of these routines and maybe help you in any way. I just would like to share some of the things that have helped me. So before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, so first let's talk about why I have routines. So I have routines because, well, I guess a lot of these routines that I have, I actually didn't intentionally do. I just found that I was doing them, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, it kind of made me have a realization of, wow, these are really great and they're impacting my life, so let's get more intentional about these and let's refine them. So that's why I have them, and I've matured them over time. So, and with all of these routines, they have definitely taken some of the chaos out of my life. They've taken some of the busy BS out of my life, and really have just made me feel more fulfilled and made me feel like I'm making progress towards, my definition of success and what kind of life I want to have. And one of the biggest things that I found about having these routines is I moved out of that survivor mode. I was in this survivor mode for so many years, and then when I started to move into this and these routines and some of these things that I talked about, I started to feel like I was living more, like I was reaching what I wanted to do. I wasn't just getting up, working to pay the bills and that whole thing. And that, I guess, that's why I want to share them with you, because I really feel that they have made a huge improvement in my life. So what are my routines? We're going to get into what they are. And I'm not talking about I get up and I do yoga and I do that's not, I think those are all fantastic, but that's not what this video is about. Some of them you're going to see have some similarities to some of those standard videos that I've seen and I've benefited from. But these, I feel I haven't seen anybody do videos like this. So I guess that's the whole thing that I'm trying to accomplish with Plan the Grind. So these are, whether they're weekly, daily, monthly, yearly, it's just some of the things that I found a routine or something I do at a certain interval of time that has benefited me in some way. And these ones, so you guys see me build out routines in my weekly plan with me. So I build out routines at work, whether it's how I manage my morning, the first hour of my morning with my daily management. You see how I do my weekly planning routine and my monthly planning routine. So you guys see that, and I have little routine builder cards. That's not at my hands right now, but you see me building out these different routines. So these ones are just ingrained in me because I've been doing them for so long and I've refined them. The first one I want to talk to you about, and you guys have heard this before, but getting on a real sleep routine. I know you guys have heard it, and I heard it a million times and I never took it seriously, but I found that I was staying up till 10, 11 o'clock at night, and it was just my way that I would feel like I was, it was my me time, it was my Sarah time. And I sat there and I watched Frasier and I watched Golden Girls and reruns of old movies and scrolled Pinterest. And I would do that for hours from 9 to 11, 9 to 12. And I was basically just kind of being a blob. I love Frasier and I love Golden Girls and I love Pinterest, so I'm not knocking it, but I found that it was me time, but it wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I didn't intentionally get on a regular sleep schedule. So I'm going to get into my next one, and this will tell you why I got into a sleep schedule. So it was a little bit accidentally. My next one is getting up early. Now, I don't think you can get up early if you don't have a solid sleep routine. So that's why I put that one first. But like I said, these two go hand in hand, but they were accidental for me. And once I realized how much I enjoyed them, and I will not give these up. I will not. So getting up early, this was accidental. I got a puppy. And it was a bull mastiff, or it is a bull mastiff. You hear her snoring in the background sometimes in my videos. But so I got this bull mastiff, and I started getting up early because when she was a puppy, I was afraid she was going to go to the bathroom in the house. And I didn't want her to. I didn't want her to get into that routine. So I used to get up wicked early in like a panic. I have to take her out. I have to feed her. I have to walk her. And I just started getting up, and it was months of getting up with the puppy. Just was like kind of having a baby. But it was having that puppy and getting up, and well, then I was up, and so I had to feed the cat, and might as well have my coffee now. So I started to realize that I was enjoying having that Sarah time. Now, meanwhile, I was still staying up and wicked late and getting up really early, so I was exhausted, and it was not a good time. But I started to realize that that morning time, that Sarah time, was so nice. I got to have my coffee. I could talk to my husband. We just have a nice coffee. We could leisurely get ready for work. I could go on Pinterest. I could read. I started going to the gym at that time, not anymore. But I realized that that was so much more fulfilling me time than it was me staying up watching The Golden Girls and Frasier. Don't get me wrong, I still watch both of them. I love them, but it was just more fulfilling me time. So I started to go to bed earlier because I was so tired. I'm like, I'm gonna just go to bed. It's 8 o'clock, I'm just gonna go to bed. So that helped me get into that regular sleep routine that I needed. But that me time in the morning, and you guys know, that I'm doing some of my plan with me's at like 4 or 5 in the morning. And I just love that me time. The biggest thing that I love about getting up early is that's me time, but not only is it me time, it's the best of me time. So I'm getting the best Sarah, the most rested, the most relaxed, the most creative, the most just everything, and I'm not rushing. So having that early morning routine and getting up, and I am not a morning person. I was the person that you could not talk to till about 10 o'clock because I was just angry and grumpy, but it was because I wasn't sleeping well. But seriously, if you know anyone in my life, they would be like, oh my God, you can't talk to Sarah. But no, so getting up early has changed my life, and I honestly don't think that any of the rest of these would have really came into play, and I don't think my passion project would be coming into play, and my YouTube and my Etsy and all this stuff. I love it. It's such a great time for me in the morning to be creative and happy and relaxed and read and Pinterest and YouTube and journal, all the things. So getting up early is another routine that I just swear by. This next one. So this is like a kind of a yearly thing that I do. So when the Marie Kondo book came out, I was like, this does not spark joy, it's out of here. So I took that book to the extreme. So I started doing a 40 bag challenge, and I like to do this around November, but I did it in March this year. The Marie Kondo book, like decluttering, this is another thing that changed my life. I don't have all the stuff around stressing me out. So me, myself, I'm not like, I don't like a lot of things everywhere. It bothers me. And I find it like adds to the mental load. So I like to throw things away and I just want what I want. And different rooms have different levels of acceptable things, number of things, if you will. And that's where you got to kind of find your level. But by decluttering, I realized that it just lowered that mental load. My house was just neat by default because there wasn't a lot of stuff. We still have to clean the counters and everything, but that yearly routine of going through that decluttering, that was huge. That is huge for me, and it's a big impact. It reduces the chaos, it reduces the stress, and I find it to be really beneficial. So just start with a bag. Like it could be a market basket, like a little grocery bag, or it could be a big trash bag or whatever. Just throw a big thing away that's bothering you. Just get going. That is a big one, and I encourage everybody to do the decluttering. So I do have a video that I did in March where I did some decluttering, so check that out. It's just me throwing stuff away, but it's the best feeling for me. Okay, so the next one, because I did that decluttering, I was able to create a chore system or a chore routine for my kids. Now my kids, this was like 6 years ago. They are still on the same chore schedule as they were 6 years ago. And if you have a lot of stuff, it's really hard to teach a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old to clean around all the things. So that helped me create a chore routine where, you know, they started doing their laundry on a certain day. They each have a dish day. And still to this day, Tuesday is this kid's chore for the dishwasher. Thursday is this kid's day. You know, we have a laundry day. So those routines, it's been so helpful because it helps me reduce managing it all. And I've talked about autopilot. It is on autopilot, sorta. I mean, I still have to remind them to do the chore. I'm not Houdini or anything, but they just do it. They don't even argue because they've been doing it for so long. So my next routine that I have is like my clothes routine. So I have certain clothes I wear in the spring, in the fall, in the winter, and a lot of them are very similar. And I have certain pants that I wear, and I have certain core things that I just wear those. So I'm sure you've noticed by now that I'm not like super fashionable and super trendy, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. But I really like pared down my wardrobe. I just stopped trying to be trendy because it's just not me, frankly. I love it, but it's not me. So I've pared down my clothing, and I have a set routine of stuff I wear, colors I wear, stores I shop at. I buy things in bulk. Like I have a clothing routine, and I find that makes me feel more confident, more comfortable at work. I'm not like worried if I'm like trying out a new fashion and I'm not feeling like a little insecure about it. I don't know, it affects my mental state. So when I go to work, I just want to feel comfortable, and I can't be productive and I can't be effective if I'm like, you know, with the shirts and the pants and the shoes and so for me, that's just how I work, how I think. So kind of figuring out those core items that I like, and I just have a routine of I refresh every like season. I refresh the items that need refreshing, and I roll over the ones that are good for another season. And that routine for my clothing has made me feel just way more confident and comfortable at work. And actually it's saving me money because I'm not trying out trends that I'm just not going to stick to, frankly. My next one, this is a little bit tied to planning. Well, they all kind of are planning because it's all functional things I do every single day, every year, every day, whatever. So this one is my yearly planning process, and I hope you guys will do this with me. So I'm gonna do a video on it, and I thought it would be really fun for us to do it together. But my yearly planning process, where I just really go through kind of all the areas of my life, and I start to figure out what I want to focus on, what I want to make progress on, what are the things that are bugging me, all those kind of things that I want to focus on, that help me define success for the year and make progress towards the life that I want to live. And that yearly project of doing that and kind of that routine of having it, I've been doing it for several years now, and it really has made my life so much more fulfilled. It really has, because I'm making progress towards things that I never thought I would do. I'm trying new things. I'm going away with friends. I'm spending more time with my friends, my family, my husband, more quality time. And this has been the biggest benefit to my routines, if you will, that I've ever had. And I encourage you all to get on some kind of a yearly planning routine, and it is really like a game changer for me anyhow, and I hope that you find some benefit to it as well. All right, so in closing, thank you for watching, everyone. Those are my yearly, or the routines that I really like. Again, I find them to be really beneficial, reduce the chaos, reduce the busy BS. They help me feel more fulfilled. So I hope you liked this video, and I hope you got some value out of it. And thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.